magic language that's in the statute, which are just references, you can put whatever terms in there that you want. What's being suggested here is that they've got a contract which provides for certain terms with waste management, and that we would get those same terms. So yes, the answer is that it is possible to create a document. Typically, you wouldn't go forward to the step of creating a document unless the body wanted to have an agreement.
Do we have other interlocal agreements with the township?
I believe
Yes,
we
you
do. Yes.
We have in the past. I know that when we did the Pennsauken Township building and the Central School parking lot was done, there was an interlocal agreement for the asphalt because we were responsible for some, and the township was responsible for some. So we made an interlocal agreement, so the guy just did the whole parking lot instead of two separate contracts. The township went out and got the lowest bid, and we just tacked on. I think we did it for gasoline also.
I believe so.
And
Yes.
paper.
There are several things that are shared services.
Yes, shared service, that's fine. No, I wholeheartedly agree with shared services. I mean, that's one of the buzz phrases going on now, especially coming down of Trenton. I'm just, this arrangement is new to me, that's why I'm asking these questions.
And
I had a question.
in specific, in the proposal that each of you were given, it does identify specifically what they are going to provide and what it's going to cost us for, that's where the $1,500 a month, where they come up with that, that's already in the proposal that you have. This is an explanation from them in terms of the services that we'll receive as part of the interlocal agreement. So you do already have a copy of that, and I apologize, I know you were away, I gave you a copy, but it's all identified in here. But the trick for us is, or not the trick, the requirement is, the board has to agree, enter into an interlocal services agreement for the enhanced recycling.
And I guess in fairness, there's really, for most of the time, when you have two public bodies, there are really two categories of shared services agreement, I guess you might say. One being active and one being passive. In other words, let's say we didn't have plumbers on staff, and a different public body the next town over had plumbers on staff. We might enter into what I'm going to create this phrase, it doesn't exist, but I'm just describing as an active shared services agreement, where we would say that whenever we needed a plumber, rather than go out and bid one, we would utilize their plumbers on staff at such and such a rate. This is more of a passive one in the sense that there's a third party who's an outside party who's providing a service at a set fee that the town has bid at that fee, and we're sort of piggybacking onto that contract. So I guess in that sense, you know, there are shared services agreements where one group utilizes what is more of an in-house service provided by another. So that tends to be a little more of a complex contract because it's less reliant on a third party's contract that was already bid and decided. Here, as Mr. Oberg pointed out, much of the details of what the costs are really already determined by what's in what Waste Management's contract. So to a certain extent, there's less leeway in terms of what that's going to end up looking like if we piggyback onto it. And then the question you'll have going forward will be, in the future, do you want to re-up, do you want to do it again, or do you want to go out in the future?
I think we're using two terms, but I think they're interchangeable. Interlocal agreement and a shared services agreement.
Well, it used to be called an
Yeah.
interlocal agreement.
Right.
The statute was interlocal agreement. Now, the statute has changed and it's called shared services.
So they're both
But for the first,
basically one and the
for
same.
the first 25 years, the statute was called an interlocal agreement.
All right.
Crystal clear on that.
Any other questions?
It's the same principle.
Yeah.
I guess, to add what Ms. Amy was talking about, is there going to be something that memorializes this relationship, this enjoyment of this benefit, like a memorandum of understanding that says, you know, we're going to get our subsidy or whatever, that contribution? Is there something that's going to memorialize this?
Once the service is begun, at that point then the municipality can give us something that says, because of you will receive. Right now, we do have the verbal that we will receive this. I am certain that once we get to the point of putting this into place, that there will be something from the municipality that says, this is something that qualifies. As a result, we will provide you X, Y, and Z. I'm sure that that can be put together.
I like that, what Mr. Rodriguez has said, that something that would memorialize all of it, that would put us all at a,
What, if I could, if it would be, if the board were to agree to enter into the intergovernmental services agreement or shared services agreement, at that point, once the municipality knows that we are going into this, I'm sure that I could approach them to request something in writing that I can share with the board.
can you do that?
I will gladly do that. But again, the first step we have to do is say, yes, we're going to get involved in it, then I can get something in writing that says, yes, here, you're going to get this, and if it's the pleasure of the board, instead of starting it,
It won't be, in this factual scenario, it won't take long to produce a
Do you have any collateral?
do I have what?
Collateral that can back up that statement.
Do I have collateral that will back, which statement did I make?
That we're going to get paid by the township.
Now, you see,
Well, they told, I mean, you
it
had
all
meetings.
depends.
You had meetings, right? And they said.
We did meet, and we were, it was expressed to us that those funds would be available to us. So I'm certain that they would not turn around after saying that to us and not provide them, and I'll ask them for something in writing prior to our actual beginning of the process.
Do we have any other questions? We have a motion, we have a second. Roll call, please, Mr. Roper.
Mr. Kofa? Mr. McDevitt?
Yes.
Mr. Stark?
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes, Mr.
Oh, you
Stark?
said yes, I think.
Dr. Maloney?
Yes.
I didn't have my glasses on. I put them on so I don't miss the angle. Miss Andrew Williams?
Abstain.
Mr. Rodriguez?
Yes, with that added stipulation of
Mr. Nguyen?
Yes.
Mr. O'Brien?
Abstain.
I have an issue, it's a personal one, but it's one that I'm going to ask the board to consider